I won't lie, I did consider selling my ticket for $10,000, but I figured that this video review would be a better business move.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hi, I'm Amanda, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about the first night show in Las Vegas for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Yay! I forget that I don't really talk to you guys much about my music taste. I feel like if you watch my channel, the only music that you think I listen to is like 5 Seconds of Summer. When I was at the concert and posting photos and stuff, the amount of DMs that I got, Swell is a Swiftie? Swiftie Swell? Was quite a bit. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But also, when all of this went down originally with the Ticketmaster debacle last year, there was a video that I made about everything, including my experience with buying my ticket. However, with how quickly the whole situation with Ticketmaster was unfolding and how it was changing day to day, from the time that I filmed it to the time that I got it back from William, which was literally within, I think, 24 hours, if even that. William's usually pretty quick about the edit, especially with a sit-down video where I just talk too much. He just cuts out my ums and where I repeat myself 40 times. Even with how quickly he got it back to me, the video was already out of date because things were just unfolding crazily fast. And by the time the video would have gone out, it would have been so many edits of me being like, okay, and then this happened, update this happened, and then Taylor said this, and then Ticketmaster said this, and now there's a lawsuit, you know, all this stuff. Like it would have just been ridiculous. So I just ended up not putting the video out. I want to talk about it a little bit now because it's kind of the point with everything. And also when I told people I was going to the concert, the amount of people that thought I spent over $1,000 on concert tickets was actually a little obscene. So I figured I would just explain that. I was in the 100 sections at the Allegiant Stadium first night of Las Vegas. Why? Because I knew that there was a very slim chance of me actually getting tickets to the LA show. Trying to get tickets to LA concert dates has just been a little insane. Vegas is the next closest location to me. I have friends out in Vegas. I can go to Vegas very easily. I've been flying JSX this year for the most part because then I don't have to drive 4 hours each way. I think I applied for one of the LA dates and then the Vegas dates for like extra shows that I may want to be able to go to when I applied for the verified fan presale for Taylor Swift's concert. I think the code I got was for the 25th of Vegas, but apparently it works for both days. So I just went to whichever one I thought I could get to first when I got my tickets. Now, something that I think it annoyed me the most out of everything with the verified fan presale codes and all of that was, one, they gave out far too many codes, and I think that's been established. But also, it sounds like the verification process was non-existent. It does just seem like it may have been a raffle of sorts or a lottery system. I assumed that at the very least they would check to my, Ticketmaster buying history. I go to a lot of events. I've been to quite a few concerts. Most of them go through Ticketmaster. So I figured they would go through my account at the very least to make sure there was no weird buying and selling practices of resales to try and stop reselling. However, it doesn't seem like there was any form of actual verification involved in the verified fan presale. If there was nothing that indicated what that verification process was. And in all of this time, I have not seen a single person be able to explain what the potential verification process was. They just keep saying that it was a bunch of bots that were applying for the verified presale. And so that was the issue, and not the fact that there was no actual verification process. So that's that. I waited forever to get my ticket, got in. It was stressful. Every time I tried to buy 2 tickets, because I was like, someone will want to go with me. I have enough friends who are at least casual fans of Taylor Swift. Surely someone will want to go with me. Or maybe I could have done a little giveaway with one of you guys. I thought that would have been fun. Every time I tried to buy 2 tickets, it didn't matter where it was not allowing me to. So 1 ticket it was. And it was in the 100 sections, section 30, I believe. I just saw that it was an unobstructed view and I hit purchase. Now, my entire ticket cost, let's do this. I don't know what I was supposed to do with VIP. I don't know if I was supposed to click a button or what, but I did not get VIP. However, I talked to some people who were in the same section as me because a girl behind me was questioning why I didn't have a lanyard and I was still in that section. And I was like, oh, I didn't get VIP. And she was like, but you paid the same amount that they did. So I don't know what the heck was going on. For my ticket, $632.68. And that's with all the fees and everything. So I'm assuming that's where the cost came in, is because Ticketmaster added a bunch of fees if you did not get VIP or something. I don't know. But apparently ended up being sat between two couples. We'll talk about that in a second. And one of the couples had VIP and the other couple didn't. I didn't end up talking to the other couple, but the girl behind me was the one questioning all these people about like our tickets and stuff like that. Oh, section 130, not 30. Sorry, 130, row 13, seat 3. Yeah. As soon as it allowed me to add it to my Apple Wallet, I did, just because I found that that's the safest bet for me. And it worked out well. Also, as of now, I have found at least 2 people specifically on TikTok talking about how their Ticketmaster was hacked or something, and their transfer was approved to some random guy's name. People are getting their Ticketmasters hacked, and then people are then transferring themselves the tickets for the concert. And once that is completed, there's really nothing you can do. There's nothing that Ticketmaster can do. They can't undo the transfer because I think it's classified as a true transfer. So if you are an Apple user, the moment you can transfer your ticket to your Apple Wallet, I recommend doing that. I'm not sure what the option would be for Android users, but just be vigilant. Went to Vegas the Thursday. My concert was on Friday. I stayed at a hotel nearby the stadium. Why? Because I am familiar with this game.
All right, here's me before the Taylor Swift concert with my Raiders bag, since I forgot to pack my clear bag. Here is the look.
I know how crazy these stadium events get because I go to quite a few stadium events with the nature of my job and the like. Getting a Lyft ride or anything like that after one of these events, whether it's getting to the event or after, is always a nightmare. I don't recommend it if you can avoid it. If you can carpool, that's your best bet. However, I didn't even want to do that. So I was like, cool, I'm going to stay at the Luxor and I'm going to walk over. Also, side note, in case you're wondering what my other stadium concert is, because it's going to bring up, I'm going to end up talking about the stage setup and all of this of the Eras Tour. My last stadium concert was One Direction, with 5 Seconds of Summer opening. According to TikTok, that makes me an old bitch. So I stayed at the Luxor, and I believe the merch tables / merch stand that was outside the venue opened up a day beforehand. So I know it was open the Thursday. I don't know if it was open before that, but it was at least open Thursday. Now, I heard some conflicting notes here because I'm fairly certain that anyone could go and buy merch. Anyone. It did not matter if you had a ticket or not, you could go and buy merch from these outdoor merch stands. That's what I had been told from numerous people who had gone. There are all these people walking away with their Taylor Swift merch bags. And I don't know if there are people that are not attending the concert or if there are people that are attending tomorrow night and they just got merch for tonight instead. Thursday, I heard it was 3 hours long. Friday, I heard it was 5 hours long. I never went and did that to myself. No offense. It's just not didn't sound appealing. I'm more there for the show itself. I don't personally need the concert merch. I know a lot of people really like getting concert merch. That's the only time you get merch from concerts. Plan accordingly if that is the case. So before the event itself, we received an email saying, hey, it's clear bag policy. Here's our bag policy. Here's what you can and can't bring. I walked over to Mandalay Bay, and that is when the sea of people started. Yeah, so walking over the bridge at about 4:24, mostly stopped dead at 4:26 is when I got to the line where it was kind of like starting to form to an actual line. What I did like here as well is on the bridge, they had water stations. Now, I don't know if this is just a venue specific thing because at the end of the day, Vegas is in a desert. So, and though it was cold, technically, we're still in a desert. It's very dry. If that is specifically to Allegiant, A1 to Allegiant. Just off the bridge is where the scalpers started. Tickets. I almost stopped one of the scalpers to be like, what do you got? I was curious and I wanted to know, but also I was starving and I was trying to get inside to eat something. Allegiant, it was North Entry, and then there was another South Entry. And so I had walked around back and forth. And then they scanned my ticket, very easy, and handed me the wristband, the light up wristband. Yay. I had seen these from the last show. I was very excited. I was intrigued. There's an insane amount of people. These stadiums are massive. I believe 68,000 is the capacity of Allegiant. So many people in here. There's nothing to complain about there. It's just a statement of fact. There were so many people here. That's going to be the case with every single show. There are several merch stands inside that are also always crazy long lines. Plenty of people were like, oh, you don't have to go and wait in line for outside because there's some inside. Inside was no better, I don't think. Since a few concerts have come and gone, people are now washing some of their merch, specifically the official Eras Tour t-shirt. Now, people are having a lot of difficulties with washing this thing. They are following the directions to a T, and the design is still becoming faded, peeling, falling apart. Some people recommended that the shirts had not been properly heat set. So if you're worried about your shirt and you want to wash it, you should be able to wash a merch shirt. That's the bare minimum. If I buy a piece of clothing, I should be able to wash it. I shouldn't have to dry clean a t-shirt. That's insane. Some people are recommending heat setting it. This is a Googleable of how to do it. It's just something to know if you do in fact decide to buy a shirt. Heads up. And then I saw the sign that said 143 to 124, so I went over there. I also saw that there was a Twitch lounge. Why does Allegiant have a Twitch lounge? There was a Pink Box Donuts, and apparently the Pink Box Donuts do a donut that's like the Raiders logo. So they did one for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour design. And so I got a little donut, a Taylor Swift donut. It was vanilla. It was fine. I have a review of it here.
It's a little smushed. So here's the donut. Not bad. Just a standard vanilla donut with frosting. I kept expecting that there's going to be filling, but I don't think there's filling. Yeah, it's just the cake. No filling. But it's kind of fun. And then here is my seat. I was in the 130 section, like I said. Originally, as I was walking, I was like, oh, I'm going really far over. I wonder if I am going to have like a impeded view that's blocked. Now, with how the stage is, I think even if you have an impeded view, you still can see quite a lot because of where the screens are. So you got the big screen down the front. And even then with the screens, I should point out as well, where I was, there were times where I could not see the big middle screen projection of Taylor because there were times where they would flip it so that it was like a big wall screen design and then she's on this side or she's on this side. So there were times where the other side of the stadium could not see what Taylor looked like on the big signs, but they had the screens on the back sides of the stage where the obstructed view would be that like where the stage itself is obstructing your view. They have the big screens there as well, which I thought was very good. And those were pretty much always, I was looking at those half the time too, because there were times where I just couldn't see Taylor because I have bad eyesight, even with my glasses, and she was just far down on the stage. And then she wouldn't be on the side, but I can see it from there. But also across the stadium, up top, they had the big screens as well, or like the smaller screens up super high by the edge of the stadium, which I thought was a good... Sorry, my autofocus keeps latching on to this specific face of Taylor, which is Speak Now, which is my favorite Taylor album, and she keeps ignoring it. And I don't appreciate that, Taylor. If you follow me on Twitter, you knew I was like lobbying for Taylor to perform Haunted when I went to her concert. She did not. We will talk about the downstage bit in a moment. Really? Like everyone else? Motherfucker. So I sat there and waited for... So she... One of the fuckers. What I really liked about before the concert started as well and before the openers came out, for Taylor's newer music, they played a bunch of the music videos, but then they would put other music over it. So like, I think Nicki Minaj played at one point, like just other songs over the actual music videos, which I think is kind of smart because though, yes, you're at the Taylor Swift concert, if you're hoping she's going to perform these songs, you probably don't want to hear them like the studio versions beforehand, if that makes sense. So that's kind of smart. But then they would play the behind the scenes of making these music videos, and they would just play those of like her directing the music videos and all of that, which I really liked. Gail came out in a vest cat top, which was cute, but also you had some faith in that top, my girl. She was adjusting it a couple of times, and when she first came out, I was like, is that? I was worried because it was a little shifted over, and so one of her boobs was like precarious in there the entire time. She was good. I'm just not a big fan of Gail personally. I've just heard ABCDFU too much. Sorry. The variety of people in the stadium was very cool, but it was a lot of children as well, obviously. And so seeing these like 7-year-olds screaming ABCDFU was very funny. And then as she finished, she did a little sprint down the stage and then stopped and turned and the camera cut. I think her boob popped out. Sorry, that top was precarious. It was very quick and her hair was down, but her hair is kind of short. So because she immediately grabbed her top and then moved. So I don't know if it did. I think it did. If not nipple, the rest of her tit fell out. So Gail performed, and then like 15, 20 minutes later is one Biba Doobie. Did I get it right? Very fun. I'm not at all familiar with her music. Even the song where I was like, this sounds familiar, I did not still was like, I probably heard it in passing on TikTok or something. And then about 20 minutes after Biba Doobie is when the clock came on, right about 7:50. So the show technically started at about 6:25. Gail actually came on early, and then I started filming, and then the big clock came out, and then there was a whole thing with like
the seashell fan people. Overall, I very much like the production value. Now, I have seen some people say that like, oh, this production value compared to other artists is not that good. I don't think it's not a matter of comparing it to other artists. I think it's a matter of like, do you like it or not? Is it cool enough? Does it match the music? Does it match the tone of the artist? That type of thing. Does it warrant a stadium tour? And I thought the opening with the fans was very cool. So they come down stage and then they're forming, and then all of a sudden a bunch of them kind of like bend over because it's literally secured to like their lower backs. They bend over and then they stand up, and then there's Taylor. She's there downstage. So she started performing in a bedazzled bodysuit, looked good. And that is immediately when the wristbands started going off. I can't play any of the clips for you. Blondie would copyright claim me. I have to pay for these tickets somehow. Then she did a Cruel Summer and I lost my ever-loving shit. I did like how she said, are you going to be the loudest crowd yet? And we're like the second stop of the tour. The third concert in total. I did like all the works that she did with her backup dancers. As far as her dancing goes, it's fine. I'm not a dance expert, but I very much liked the set pieces of the dancing throughout. There was some really great ones that I really liked, which I'll talk more as we go on. The man was good. I like this stage setup where it was like an office building and she's like climbing up the ladder for the stage. It's very fun. They just added a sparkly blazer that matched her boots, which I thought was great. Also, I like that the stage itself, I thought it was just like an LED screen with like lights and stuff. No, it's like a full-on screen. So like as she's climbing the ladder, there's literally like a big building. I could not see it from the angle that I was at, really, but I could tell that it was clearly similar to what was on the big screen. So I'm assuming it was a building / the elevator going up and down like it was on the screen. As far as the music goes and how our lights were going off, my favorite one was when the rainbow lights were happening. I tried to get on video, but the lights were not picking up on my phone camera much at all. So, but it was just, I really love the rainbow design. It just looked so cool in the way it was moving. I loved it. I think that's super fun. I'm sure other artists do this too, but I thought it was fun. I did like the house design with the Eras tour, obviously, to light. There was different animations and video clips associated with when we were in different eras and things like that. She brought out the lilac guitar at a certain point, which was fun. One of my favorite background dancer scenes was definitely when she was playing Lover. All of the backup dancers came out in different dresses and suit jackets and all of that, and everyone was dancing. The girl in the green dress, oh god, she's also in the Last Great American Dynasty, that song as well. She was the lead in that one. Just beautiful dresses this whole time, and her backup singers as well. She threw her guitar picks out a lot, which I always like when artists do that. I know it's like the bare minimum, whatever, but I like it. I very much liked how the risers came up and down. That was seamless. Every time I was like, okay, that's where they are. They were won over. Okay. Very impressed by how seamless the stage setup was as far as the risers go in the center. Those things were smooth. I don't know who was setting those up. That's whoever set up the risers should be very impressed with themselves. Okay, they should be very proud because someone's going to be like, that's like the bare minimum. I don't care. I remember the old hydraulic press days where they just went like, these things looked seamless. These were smooth. These would go up and down. They had them timed to music going up and down with the band standing with her and then her going up or then her singers going up. I loved it. I was not at all worried that anyone was going to get their arm cut off if they were standing too close to it or anything. It was seamless. I very much liked it, okay? God, I remember when they used to strap singers into those things. There was a lot of fireworks / pyrotechnics throughout the show. A lot of it's random. Where I was that far over, I did not always feel the heat until the actual fire came out. I believe during Bad Blood. That was when the fire was like, oh, fuck, this is hot. So I know anyone who was any closer to the obstructed view definitely felt it. So have fun with that. Lots and lots of costume changes. Sometimes it's as simple as throwing a jacket on. Other times it was as simple as a full-on dress over what she was wearing, hidden. Then we had trees come up from the stage to make a forest. It did look like weed as it was growing. Taylor Swift era's weed trees. I kind of want merch that has like, tag yourself, I'm the weed tree or something like that. And even when they were fully extended, they did still look a little weed-like, but definitely when they were first coming up and it was like just the base of the tree where it looked like leaves with the blood, it looked like weed. Okay, Taylor, I don't know whose design that was. Then the Moss piano came up. Now I'm not fully familiar with the piano because I threw a hissy fit when my parents tried to sign me up for piano when I was a kid. Does adding things to the outside of the piano affect the sound? Just curious. I've always wondered that. Something else that I did really like was all the different mic stands and mic designs to represent the different set pieces of the show itself. For example, at the Moss table, the whole stand is covered in moss and then also the mic is like brown, like dirt.
I thought that was fun. I always like little details like that. Then she stopped and just let people scream at her for a good 3 minutes, like losing their mind. She introduced her new pianist. She played the piano while Taylor had the table come out, and then she started setting the table, which is what Anna Marie Tendler is accusing her of copying. Anna Marie Tendler is a artist and also was married to John Mulaney. She says it was satire, which does fall in line with some of her other videos and the tone of her voice. So I'm choosing to believe that that's what it was, but it was not interpreted well. So she deleted the videos. But she basically accused Taylor of this design setup for her, this song being reminiscent of her art that she did for Sunday dinner, Tuesday night dinner or something. One of her artists. I will put the credit here and all of that. I really like that setup. Also, that background dancer, super hot. So also would be super awkward because she's just singing to him while sitting on a table and he's just, oh God, good acting on his part too. I know it's his job, but I would have been giggling. Then she came out in the Reputation era bodysuit. It's been established that she's wearing dance tights. From what I can see for pretty much all major artists as well, they wear dance tights. So they're usually like wearing like 2 or 3 pairs, I believe, to get that shimmery leg look as well. God, kind of want to do the dance leg tight thing. Is that a video? I tried wearing dance tights for a week so you don't have to. See how that makes me feel. I love the light boxes with all the different Taylors in the boxes. I love that so very, very much. I thought it was cool. And then we get some disrespectful. She comes out in this stunning gown. Gorgeous, beautiful. Apparently it was custom made. It's a bespoke gown. It's stunning. The designer put it on Instagram. Stunning, beautiful. She performs one song in this gown. It's Enchanted. I love Enchanted. That's fine. I love Speak Now. This is the only song she performs in this gown. To do this gown in one song is so wild to me. The disrespect of Speak Now. She did talk about how she's re-recording her masters. She's re-recorded Fearless and Red so far. She did not mention Speak Now. Devastated, personally. I'll live, but I need to hear her version of Haunted now. I just do. Legally, I do. As you guys saw on Twitter, I was lobbying for her to perform Haunted for funsies. She did not. Then there was a bit about Red. She came out in a red bodysuit and then had a red jacket put on that was all bedazzled. I love that one. And she brought out the folklore cabin. And this is where I'm surprised because she has all of her mics bedazzled, detailed, matching her set pieces, set up pianos detailing that. So I'm surprised that her security belt that she's wearing when she's on top of the folklore cabin is not personalized whatsoever. To the point that I was like, is she gonna like leap from something or something? I don't know. She does not. I want to make that very clear. It's just the security belt to make sure that in case she falls, she doesn't die off the roof. That's fair. 100%. I get not having the buckle be detailed whatsoever, but I mean, you could have it be pink maybe to match her dress. She stands out against the pink gown that she's wearing, but I get it. It's safety. You don't want to do too much. And then she goes down and performs Betty. She is tucked inside the cabin. We cannot see her. I really hope we get some high resolution concert photography from just different parts of the stage, but especially when there's these scenes like this one with all of her background dancers behind her and she's in the pink gown and they're all in sparkly black dresses. Oh God, it's beautiful. I did love with Blank Space how they had the background dancers all had like light up golf clubs and they're beating the crap out of a digital car projected on the risers. Again, the risers also screens. This stage is, I love this stage setup. I love the technical aspect of this. This is so cool. When I buy a house, can I build this in my backyard? Just the screen. I think that would be really cool. How much would that be, do you think? A couple million? Can I DIY this with some palettes and LED screens? Bad Blood, we got some fire on stage. These things were wheeled out. That was hot. I could feel it from where I was. And then she goes to the very end of the stage, says hi to everyone that's out there, grabs her guitar and grabs a piano. Now, this is where she says that she liked to have a section in this where she can just do different songs every performance. Her new pianist apparently had said in an interview that her favorite song that she grew up listening to from Taylor was Our Song. So we got Our Song, and then she went to the piano. She did a whole statement about how I'm going to talk about a person. This is not a bit. I'm not bringing anyone out to surprise you. Do not think that that's what I'm doing. But Lana Del Rey just released a new album. Here is Our Song that she was on my album, Snow on the Beach. So then she performed Snow on the Beach. And so this means that statistically, one of her other shows, there is a likelihood she will perform Haunted during this segment of the show, okay? one of you better film it in its entirety for me. I demand it. Do you want me to pay you for it? I'll give you $50. Not portrait, not for TikTok. I need it vertical. Okay, and I will give you $50. I will Venmo you. There is a likelihood she will perform Haunted. She did not this time around. Someone she will, okay? Please. But this is very smart of her to do, I think, to mix it up. And then it's also like, oh, maybe you'll get the song that you want. We got a chair dance for vigilante shit. I always like that. Mastermind, big chessboard style thing. I like the timing on that one. The show does end with Karma. There is a bunch of confetti where I was at the front of the stage. There is no confetti, at least for this stadium. I'm assuming that's the case with most of them, though. From the diamond to the front edge of the stage, I think is where the confetti lands. Then I sat my ass down and I waited. Why? Because I'm not gonna fight 60,000 people to get out. I did end up anyways. I am not a leave early to beat the crowds type of person. I bought a ticket. I'm going to the end. I didn't mention this. I was sitting between two couples. One couple, both of them were obsessed with the fact that they were at Taylor Swift. The guy I kept hearing be like, this is the greatest concert I've ever been to. Oh my God. Like to his girlfriend. And then the other couple on the other side of me was a little older. And she was dancing. He was just kind of quiet the entire time. But they kept switching spots, I'm assuming, because I was dancing and singing and having a good time. So I'm assuming either they were getting annoyed with me. No one ever said anything to me, but they were talking with the people behind me. These people had a VIP. This couple did not. And they apparently paid $600 for their tickets as well. So how was I supposed to get VIP? I don't understand. Was it literally just clicking a button? Or was it because I had a solo ticket so I paid more fees? I would love to see the receipt. I'm very confused. If anyone else was in the 100 section and also paid $600 for Ticketmaster after fees and everything, let me know so we can get to the bottom of this. So I sat there and waited for quite a while, like a good 25 minutes. And then I was like, okay, the security started coming down and doing like the, hey guys, come on, let's get moving type of thing. So I got up and started making my way up and I was like, okay, I'll go to the bathroom. Now where I was, the bathroom line was not bad at all. There was one merch stand in that area. The line was long, but not terribly long. But at that point, a bunch of stuff was picked through, so I wasn't even going to try and take my time to get in line there. So I started making my way out. It was insane. Insane. I figured it would be fine because I didn't have to worry about a car. The lot for where the self-parking was or whatever was across the way. Same with Uber lines and all of that. To get to the bridge, to get across the way, to get to my hotel. From the time that I got out of Allegiant, like walked out the door, to the time that I actually made it inside the doors of my hotel, it took me an hour. That big light in the distance, that is where my hotel is. That is not that far. And I know people say, oh, in Vegas, it's farther than it looks. That's the thing about the desert or how things are built. It's not that far. It took me less than 10 minutes to get from my hotel to the door to the line earlier that night. It was not that long of an amount of time. It should not have taken me this long to get through. But that's the thing with 60,000 people all going in the same direction. I'm just very glad I didn't have to worry about a car or anything because I would have lost my ever-loving mind. If you are driving to your venue, maybe keep snacks or something in your car for when you are definitely sitting there for 500 hours after you leave. Oh, we have to get home because it's after 11 or whatever. You know, just sit. Save yourself. It got so bad on that bridge at one point. I was running through my mind of what you're supposed to do if crowd crush happens. That's how crowded it was. Okay, which for the record, you're supposed to lock your arms in front of you so that your lungs can still expand. I believe. That's what one person said. It sounds right. I'm 5'2". I'm always ready, okay? Also, at times like this is when pickpocketing can get really bad. So just be aware of your stuff. I just made sure I had my hand over my zipper of my bag and my phone was in my hand, so it didn't really matter. You know, just be aware. Keep hold of your children. Do not let go of your party. The light was still going off the next morning. It was just flashing at the end, changing colors. At least at Allegiant, they did have a recycle thing set up for those. I'm assuming they will everywhere else. However, if you're a pack rat like me, I was able to walk out with mine. No one stopped me. Do with it what you will. Just try not to throw it out. I'm assuming, like me, a lot of you are also sentimental and you hold on to those things, at least for concerts and things like that. So I display mine in my apartment because it's not hoarding if you display it nicely. Then it's just collecting. I loved the concert, personally. I thought it was great. I've never, even with 5 Seconds of Summer, like, God, I don't even think there's no one that I, like, vibrate over, you know? There's no one that I'm sobbing over as they're performing music. I'm just at my point in my life with what I've seen and what I've been through. There's no music really makes me do that, to be honest with you. It was a very fun experience, you know, to be singing along to songs that I've been singing since I was in middle school and elementary school. That was very fun. When she performed You Belong With Me, that was a very fun experience for me personally. Was I crying at any songs? No, but I love the technical aspects of shows like this. And as well as the costume changes were beautiful. You wasted that dress on one song. Come on, Taylor, you can do just one more in there. I get it. I know you're on a time crunch, but the show's already 3 hours long. Go full Hollywood with it. Make it 3.5 hours. That's going to be it. Did you like this video? Did you go to an Eras Tour show already? Are you planning on going to an Eras Tour show? Did you decide not to buy tickets? Did you lose out on tickets? Did you get verified fan presale? Do you think you know what the verified means in verified fan presale? Because I still think it's random. I still think they just randomly chose names from the hat. I still think it was bullshit. Anyways, that's going to be it. Reminder, I have a podcast, the Swell Entertainment podcast. Reminder, I have merch. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for my Patreon. If you'd also support my Patreon, that was down below. Also, Patreon gets all the B-roll for this as well. So they will have all my random concert clips as well. Like, check out my other social media. That'll be all up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. I almost said, and that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Speak now, because I wanted to be a bitch. Thank you, Andrew, Alan, Cameron, Christopher, Chris B, Chris P, Crash BC, China, Dirty One, Don, Donnie, Elliot, Evan, Eric, Eal, Hopeless, Homer, Incognito, Isaiah, Jacare, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lex, Lisa, Louise, May West, Madeline, Matt, Matthew, Meme Lord, Liam, Michael J, Michael T, Micah, Nathaniel, Nocturnal, Pat, Penn, Richard, Rob, Red, Rosie, Red, Robert, Ross, Ryan, Sam, Serena, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Heavenly, Plastic, Tenzin, Tom, Thomas, Qwerty, Victor, Randy, Wendy, Winter, Will, Williams, Endries, Wink.